Hello guys, welcome back to the quantity surveying workshop, and in today's video we are going to be taking off for substructure of a complex video, and this is the plan we are going to be using for this video. As you can see, this is a 3-bedroom plan with a master's bedroom and 2 other bedrooms. There's a sitting room, a kitchen, dining, master's toilet, closet, toilet 1, toilet 2, a lobby, porch, and a guest toilet. Let me just write this. See, a guest toilet. Now, in this video, we're just going to be taking off for 4 items. The 4 items we're going to be taking off for in excavation and filling includes removal of trees, site clearance, topsoil excavation, and disposal of topsoil. Now, if you watched one of the previous videos on the taking off list for substructure, I wrote the taking off list based on the grouping of the work done, and you know that the grouping of the work done includes excavation and filling, in-situ concrete work, and block work. However, in this video, I'm going to be taking off for substructure in the same way buildings are built in the construction industry. So stay tuned and enjoy the video. The first item we're going to be booking for is removal of trees. As you all know, in our working drawing, both the floor plan or all our working drawing does not include the amount of trees that are on the site. As you all know, when you buy a land, 70 to 80% of the time the land comes with trees, and we have to be clearing off or cutting down these trees. Now, since our working drawing does not contain any information about the number of trees in or on the site, we are going to be assuming. Now, one thing about measurements or taking off is that when some informations are not given, we have to assume some standard information into it. According to the Builders and Engineers Standard Method of Measurement 4 Revised, it's a book that gives us an insight on how we should be measuring for different works or operations in the construction industry, and this is the book. This is how the book looks like. I would advise that every quantity surveying or civil engineering student should have this book. It is very important. So in this book, it is stated that to measure for trees are grouped into gats. You know that trees grow in different sizes, and we cannot know the different sizes of different trees. So what they did was that they grouped these trees into gats of 500 to 1500 mm, 1500 to 3000 mm, and 3000 mm and above. Now we're going to be making a simple assumption here. So the first thing we're going to be working on is removal of trees. So the simple assumption we're going to be making now is to assume how many number of trees are on the site. So I'm going to do this assumption in such a way that we are going to elapse all the groups stated in the BSMM. That's a group of 500 to 1500, group of 1500 to 3000, and group of 3000 and above. So I'm going to be assuming that the site has all those gates of trees on the site. So let me just say the first assumption. That's number 1. We're going to say 3 number gats 500 to 1500 mm. 2. 1 number gats 1500 to 3000 mm. And 3. 2 number gats 3000 mm and above. So we're going to be assuming that these are the kind of trees and their number on the site. So now, how do we book for removal of trees? It is very easy. Removal of trees is booked or is measured in number. So all you just need to do is to write the number of these trees per the size and describe. Now, the essence of this description is for us to give a detailed information on how these activities or operation should be carried out on the site. This would help the contractor or the supervisor in order to know what he is expected to do during the course of the construction activity. So now, how do we book for these assumptions? Now, we'll say tree number. That's for this one, clear site of trees comma gets 500 to 1500 mm, and that is this one. Then we will now write again, get 1500 to 3000 mm. How many number? 1. We'll write it. Then we close. The last get is what? 3000 and above, with how many number? 2. And then we close it. After we're done with this, we do what we call opening and closing. We open here before the description and we close after the description. So this is just the simple way to measure for trees. Very easy, no calculation. All you just need to do is to assume, describe, and you measure. Now, in a situation where you do not know how to describe, that is where the BSMM comes in. That's the Builder's Engineer Standard Method of Measurement. Now, this BSMM gives you a guide on how to describe every operation that is to be carried out in the course of construction. This BSMM has almost all operations, from removal of trees, site clearance, trench excavation, block work. Every single thing you can think of is inside the BSMM. So maybe subsequently I'll make a reel on how to use the BSMM. It's very, very important that you know how to describe. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is site clearance. Now, you know that after we've finished cutting off our trees, the sites could have vegetation on it, like grass, shrubs, and all those things. And we need to clear those vegetation, because we cannot begin building on top that kind of a site. So the next thing we have to do now is to clear that site of the vegetation. Now, how do we do this? Normally, one of the drawings we're usually given in our work drawing is the site plan. And once we're given the site plan, we're supposed to clear the whole site. But in the course of being a student, we're not usually given the site plan. And when we're not given the site plan, we kind of adopt a method of adding spread. That's what we call spread, adding spread to the whole area of our floor plan. Now, if you look at this floor plan looks like a regular square, something like this. Now, the spread we're going to be adding is the footing of our foundation. Now, if you look at this foundation here, you will see that after our wall, there is a space here and there's a space here. Now, this space, these two spaces, is what we call the spread. So we're going to be adding spread to the external side of our floor plan. And when we add the spread to the external side of our floor plan, that is the area we are going to be clearing. So the clearing of the site would extend the dimension of the floor plan. Now, in order to go about this, we have to determine what is the value of our spread. So in order to calculate or to measure for site clearance, we're going to be calculating a very simple calculation of trying to determine what is the dimension of this spread here. What is the dimension of this spread here? Let me just do something like this so that it can be easy for you to understand. Now, from here to here is what we call spread. So how do we calculate for our spread? To calculate for our spread, we have to put some things into consideration. Now, what is the length of our foundation footing? It is 675 mm. So now, if we know the length of our foundation footing as 675 mm, and we know that the thickness of our wall is what? 225. What are we going to do now to get the spread? We'll have to less 225 from 675 and divide it by what? 2. Now, when we less 675 by 225, that's by the wall 225, we are going to be having 450. So that means this 450 is the summation of here and here, but we're only looking for one side. So what do? We divide it by what? 2. 450 divided by 2 is equals to 225. So 225 is the dimension of our spread from here to here. Now, if you want to know that we are correct, now our value here is 675. 225 plus 225 plus the thickness of our wall 225 will give us 675. So it means that we are correct. Now, since we've gotten the dimension of our spread as 225, now what we need to do now is to calculate the area of this floor plan externally, and our external dimension is giving us what? 10,725 by what? 12,800 and what? 25. As seen. 12,825 by what? 10,725. We need to calculate the area of this floor plan. Since we've gotten the dimension of our spread as 225, we're going to be adding 225 to both sides of our length and width of our foundation. Now, we know that the length of our foundation is what? 12,825. We're going to be adding spread here, and we're going to be adding spread at this side. And we're going to be doing the same thing to the width, which is 10,725. We're going to be adding spread here, and we're going to be adding spread at the other side. So now, how do we come about this now in the measurement sheet, in the taking off sheet? We'll now say that our length and width is this. So our length is what? 12,825, and our width is 10,725. Right? Then we're going to be adding twice spread, because I said that the spread would be here and on the other side, right? So it's 2 spread we're going to be adding. So we're adding twice spread, which is 2 by what? 225, and 2 by 225 will give me what? 450. So we're adding 450 to the length, and we're going to also add 450 to the width. So when we do the calculation, 12825 plus 450 will give me 13,275, and 10,725 plus 450 will give me 11,175. So if we times the length and width just as we find for area, that would be whatever it gives us will give us the area from here round. Now after we've gotten this and this, after adding twice spread, what are we going to do next? We are going to describe. So to describe, we're going to do what we call opening. Then how do I describe now? Description is very easy. It's just to describe the nature of the activity to be done on the site. So we're doing site clearance. So I will just come here and say clear site vegetation including shrubs, grass, and overgrowth, and dispose off site. When you check your BSMM, you will see something like this. But the reason why I didn't use the BSMM is so that I can save time. So I just describe based on the nature of the operation. So when I do this now, I'm going to close. After closing now, I'm going to put what I've already calculated on the measurement column, and our length is 13,275. You convert it to meters, it will give me 13.28. Don't forget, it should be in 2 decimal place. The width will give me 11,175. Convert it to meters, it will give me 11.18. Then I close. This is it for site clearance. Now after we finish clearing the site, the next operation we are going to be doing is to remove the topsoil. Now the first soil you see after clearing the site is called the topsoil, and this topsoil needs to be excavated from the site before we get a soil that is more stable to carry out our construction activities. Now this topsoil is usually a thickness of 150 mm, and we are going to be clearing the site of that 150 mm. So now to measure for excavation of topsoil is very easy. There is no need for calculation. All you just need to do is to describe, and like I said in our description, we first open. When I open, I describe. What am I saying? Remove topsoil from natural ground level average depth not exceeding 150 mm deep. Then I close. Now this topsoil is measured, this topsoil excavation is measured in meters square. So what are we going to be booking here? We are going to be booking the length and breadth that we've already calculated in site clearance. So the calculation we did in site clearance or the booking we did in site clearance is the same thing we're going to be booking here. So we got 13.28 and 11.18 in our site clearance. All we just need to do is to bring it back here. 13.28 and 11.18, because it is the area of the site that we're going to be removing the topsoil. So this is how to measure for topsoil excavation. However, we are not yet done. You know, after removing this topsoil, we are also going to dispose this topsoil from the site. Now, there are two ways to calculate. There are two ways to book for disposal. After you finish measuring for topsoil, you come down here and write disposal of topsoil, and then describe again, and then bring this measurement down here. Or you do what they call adding on. That is the use of ampersand, that's, or what they call that's this. I don't know how they draw it, but it's something like this. Something like this. I don't know, forgive my drawing, but it looks something like this. It's a sign for and. So you put it down here and say what? Dispose 150 mm thick topsoil 2 meters away from sites. Then after you write this, instead of closing here, you will close down here. This is the easiest way to go about it than coming to write disposal of topsoil again and then describing and then bringing this same measurement we've calculated down here. So we will just adopt this method because the same measurement we are using for removal of topsoil is the same measurement we are going to be using for disposal of topsoil. That is why we join the two together. So we've come to the end of this video, and in this video we were able to talk about removal of trees, site clearance, topsoil excavation, and disposal of topsoil. I hope this video was helpful to you and you derived adequate knowledge from it. So please, if you don't understand any part of this video, please notify me in the comment section. Don't forget to also share this video to your colleagues, and subscribe to this channel so that we can grow along. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.